We stand firm and rise. For this truth, we put our lives on the line. We're prepared for war, fearing no confrontation. We hit the highways and byways to wake up the whole nation. We teach His word, we teach His will, we teach His truth, don't matter how you feel. We teach His word, we teach His will. You gon' hear this first, now tell me how you feel.
Shalom, Israel. This is your brother Maha, House of Israel, Spirit of Israel Productions. We got next here to have our topic of this evening is Thanksgiving. All right, we here to rebuke Thanksgiving and give you understanding of the tribe of Gad, that they are Israelites. Okay, one of our brothers and sisters, and that this pagan holiday or pagan feast day is in dedication of the destruction of our people. So myself, your brother Maha, and the elders to my left, y'all all know him. Okay, powerful brother in the spirit, the speaker out there, 45th Street, House of Israel for years, diligent, putting in that good word, 4 days a week. Okay. Being a statesman, elder statesman for we got next, taking a charge in all the pitfalls and the hatred and the jealousies that comes along with it. But we're not here to go all to that, but we're here to bring forth the word by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. This is your brother Maharka, we got next, House of Israel, Spirit of Israel Productions. I'll give y'all brother, priest, elder, Zabach.
Shalom, shalom, yashalom. All praises to the Most High by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. House of Israel, Spirit of Israel, we got next. FOPE, the Light of Zion, Shield of Wisdom, Ohio Israelites, all the camps in Yahushua, 14th Street Israelites, all the brothers in Yahushua, throughout the four corners of the earth. So tonight, we're going to get right into it. We're going to touch on a topic that needs to be touched on such a day like today. The so-called wicked Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, right? Because there's nothing to be thankful for, but by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, we should not partake of these wicked feast days of America, the so-called white man, and all the things that he set up. So we're just going to get into a few scriptures, pertaining this topic, right? We got a lot of information. We may not get to it, or we may do a second part to it, but we're going to get into some basic scriptures and history on the tribe of Gad, the Thanksgiving holiday, and how we shouldn't be celebrating this holiday by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. We have our true holy days according to the scriptures, which is Hanukkah, Feast of Passover, Feast of First Fruits, Sabbath, Purim, so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, we got Hanukkah coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, which is your so-called Black Friday. That's another abominable day that we may touch on tonight briefly. But just to show you to separate from the days of this society, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American, and Seminole Indians, separate from the days of this society and remember the history of what happened to your people, the so-called Native American brothers and sisters, which is the tribe of Gad of the nation of Israel, and your so-called Seminole brothers and sisters, the tribe of Reuben of the nation of Israel. Right? We have to remember both of them that suffered the wrath under the so-called white man and not partake of this day, man. If anything, this is a very sad day, man. A lot of you Negroes, man, you running around playing your music. I'm out and about today. Everywhere you go, you see Negroes with big plates and stacks of food wrapped up in plastic bags. Some of us know because we was doing it in the world, right? But the Most High brought us out of that. But now is our job to teach others. Now, once the Most High bring us into this knowledge and we see that those things are wrong, right? Because we're no better than our people that used to do those things, but now we have to show them, right? We have to show them according to the scriptures that it's wrong, right? And how being caught up in these wicked feast days is going to get you destroyed and killed in these last days, because the Most High is not dealing with these wicked feast days. These days represent evil and wickedness and corruption that the so-called white man has done to our people through our history. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Colossians 3 and 17.
Colossians, the 3rd chapter, into 17th verse. I'm sorry, but it's funny.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 17.
Colossians 3:17.
Yeah, read that for me, brother. Let's get right into it. Like I said, we're going to touch on some things briefly for the sake of time. Right, the brother Maha and Shamiala did a good class earlier on, brotherhood, loving one another, strengthen, being real with this truth. Right, not knowing all these scriptures and breakdowns, but not having love and charity. The Apostle Paul, through the spirit of Mashiach, said you're like nothing. So really, those are the key things that we need. We need classes like that, right? It's a good start off because this truth is about Israel and how we conduct ourselves, right? But we also need to go into the history and what we've gone through as a people and what we should abstain from. So the brother, touched on that good class earlier. So Salakia for the later start, but for the sake of time, we're going to get into some brief things and go with the spirit. Right, so Colossians 3 and 17, read that, brother.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed.
So whatsoever we do in word or deed, go ahead.
Do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right, so everything we do in the name of the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But everyone doesn't know the name in the Hebrew, so we say Jesus for edification, but his name is HaMashiach Yahushua. Right, read that again, brother. Colossians 3 and 17.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua.
See that? By Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua, in the name of the anointed Savior. Go ahead.
Giving thanks la Alahayim wa Abanawa Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua.
See that? So the Most High is letting us know everything we do in the spirit of HaMashiach Yahushua. So we ask ourselves, would our Lord and Savior Christ, would he celebrate Thanksgiving? Would he partake of these days? Right? Give me Amos, the 5th chapter and the 21st verse. That's what we're going to start with. Right? Would he keep this wicked feast day that commemorates the rape, robbery, murder, and slaughtering of our Native American brothers? Would he go back and say, the first Thanksgiving, the Pilgrims and the Puritans sat down with the natives and they had a great feast? No. Right? The first Thanksgiving was set up, I believe, in 1637, where there was over 700 Pequot Indians slaughtered in Connecticut. And there was an Edomite by the name of John Endicott that set up a feast in commemoration of those over 700 Pequot Indians that were slaughtered in the state of Connecticut. So we're going to get into a little bit of all that history. So when Yahushua look at that and celebrate that, the so-called white man slaughtering our brothers, the Native American Indians, and sitting down and having a feast to it, no, he would not. Because the Most High said this, Amos 5:21. Read that.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21.
Come on.
I hate.
What did the Lord say?
I hate.
Come on.
I despise your feast days.
Right, this was the Most High rebuking Israel when they were going to hell off. And the Lord was saying he hated our feast days back then because we was in a wrong, wicked spirit keeping those feast days. But here now, we're keeping the totally wrong feast days, and the Most High, he hates the feast days of this society. Like he hated us when we was wicked, and we kept our feast days in the wrong spirit. The Most High hates these feast days that we keep now in this society. Because they're in the wrong spirit, and they're not even the feast days that he gave us according to the scriptures.
Right.
Read it again.
I hate.
What did the Most High say?
I hate.
But I thought the Most High don't hate nobody or anything. What did the Lord say?
I hate.
Come on.
I despise your feast days.
Read.
And I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
So the Lord said he don't have nothing to do with these wicked feast days of this society. Your solemn or sincere assemblies. Because why? You come together in sincerity in these gatherings. You love, you Negroes put all your spirit. You blacks, Hispanics, and some Native Americans. Which is an oxymoron. What is a so-called Native American or a so-called Seminole Indian doing celebrating Thanksgiving? Right? A lot of you so-called Native Americans and Seminoles, you need to be protesting this day, man. You need to be out there with, I believe it's the Native American Alliance, that every year they march up to Plymouth Rock, and they have a march at Plymouth Rock, and they fast on the day of Thanksgiving and go against this wicked day. That's what you need to be doing, man. Right? So read on. Right, so
I hate, I despise your feast days.
Come on.
And I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
The Lord don't have nothing to do with these wicked days. Go ahead.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings,
Come on.
and your meat offerings.
Cook all these strange meats, ham, pork, right, turkey. Even though turkey is a clean bird, but the turkey symbolizes the bodies of the Native American Indians. Right? The stuffing represents their guts and the innards of the Native American Indians. And the cranberry sauce represents their coagulated blood. Right? So the Most High said what? Read 22 again.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings, and your meat offerings.
Right, you can eat, like I said, turkey is a clean bird. When you read the Levitical law, turkey is one of the clean birds. You can eat that any day. You can eat that on a Thursday in August. Why does it have to be on this particular day that you Negroes engage in this feast that the so-called white man set up? Go ahead.
I will not accept them.
The Lord said what?
I will not accept them.
Yeah, a lot of you be praying over the turkey and the ham. You be holding hands around the table. Thank you, Lord, for this, for the great meal we're about to receive. And thank you, Lord, for all the blessings.
Right.
Some of you saying thank you because you didn't die in Hurricane Sandy.
Right.
Right? The Most High's judgment. Right? But a lot of you say these things, you praying over unclean foods and an unclean table. And a lot of you Christians are involved in that madness, man. Give me 1 Corinthians 10 and 20 real quick. We're going to go back and finish our Amos, but give me 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. You so-called Christians that claim you in the church and you love the Lord. You doing this in the name of the Lord, but you actually celebrating the rape, robbery, and murder and slaughter of your brothers and sisters, the Native American Indians. 1 Corinthians 10 and 20.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice,
Come on.
they sacrifice to devils.
So what?
They sacrifice to devils.
And I'm going to hit you with something. All them millions of Native American Indians, 77 million, 60 million, 90 million, whatever the different scholars give different numbers. But let's just say a massive amount of number of Native American Indians that was slaughtered on these different times that you slaughtered them. What did you do? That was a sacrifice to Satan that you so-called white people gave so you can take over this land of America, man. That's what that was. Read it again, brother.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice,
Come on.
they sacrifice to devils.
Go ahead.
And not to Yahweh.
Right, this is a satanic day because all it commemorates is the slaughtering of our brothers, the Native Americans. Right, go ahead. So-called Native Americans, the tribe of Gad, and the Seminole Indians, the tribe of Reuben. Right, come on.
And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils.
Right, what are you doing fellowshipping with this day, man? You Negroes going out to see the Thanksgiving Day parade. Yeah. You so-called Hispanics going out there. They said it was over 3 million people that went out and observed that parade today, man. That's ridiculous. And they showed the scenery. The camera panned down on 34th Street. A lot of you blacks and Hispanics was right in the crowd, man. Right? What are you doing fellowship with these devils, man? What are you doing commemorating and celebrating this wicked Thanksgiving Day? Why are you out there at the Thanksgiving Day parade? You shouldn't have fellowship with devils, man. That's a wicked, demonic Gentile sacrifice of Esau. They slaughtered all of our brothers, the tribe of Gad and Reuben, as a demonic sacrifice to Satan to celebrate them stealing his land. Right? So go ahead.
Ye cannot drink the cup of the Most High.
Right, because a lot of you Negroes in these churches, you say you have the Most High. You say you celebrate the Lord. You have your communion every third Sunday of the month. You say you drinking the blood of Christ. You have your little crackers and your grape juice, and you imitate the Last Supper. Right? You say you partaking of the blood of the Lord and the body of the Lord, right? So how you going to drink the cup of the Lord? Go ahead.
And the cup of death.
Right, but then you go home that Thursday, probably right after Communion Sunday, and you have a Thanksgiving feast. Right? You say you commemorating the Lord on one end, but then you go and sit down and have a Thanksgiving feast. The Lord is not with that, man. He's not with these wicked holy holidays or folly days that you celebrate in America. Go ahead.
Ye cannot be partakers of the Most High by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua's table.
Come on.
And of the table of death.
Right, and that goes for you Israelites in the truth.
Right, bring it out.
Right, you can't celebrate the Passover, or you was at the new moon last month. Right. Now, oh, brother, you know the family.
Right.
The family, I gotta go see the family, brother. Right. My grandma gonna get mad if I don't go. Or my woman want me to come to her house with her and her family. Nah, the Most High ain't with that, man. That's I'm gonna be teaching while I'm there.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna be converting from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
You're gonna convert that sweet potato pie, nigga, from the table to your belly, right? Right? You're gonna convert those damn bodies. Because really, all the people gonna do is they're gonna hear you out, but they're gonna go right back to what they're doing.
Right.
For the most part, I've been around the family gatherings and all that, and you try to drop scripts on you. They'll talk, especially if they drink, and they'll talk to you. Right, so you mean to tell me God only loves one people, and he gonna think we wrong for celebrating, we giving thanks? Right? They say all kinds of madness to you, but you can't do that, man. You can't partake of this truth of the Most High and partake of the table of devils. You got something?
I'm supposed to eat this neck bones
and
greens. Neck bones and greens been good to me.
Right, look at that, man. Damn. Body of the Native Americans, man. And the stuffing is their guts. Right? You got
they got wild rice with cranberries and bacon.
Right.
And pecans.
They always incorporate that ham. So go ahead.
You cannot drink of the cup of the Most High and the cup of death.
Right, it tells you in James 1:22, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, man. Right, so you can't try to be in this truth or claim to be a Christian and righteous, but yet you celebrating the wicked feast days of America. Right, go ahead.
In the cup of devils, you cannot be partakers of the Most High's table.
Come on.
And of the table of devils.
Right, you can't do both, man. So this is really a lot for you brothers and sisters in this truth.
Right.
In this walk. Stay away from these feast days, man. And the Apostle Paul told us that eating things offered to idols is nothing. We're going to get into that later.
Right.
But a lot of times for the weak brother's conscience, you got to abstain from following these days.
Right.
We know the hell, the turkey is turkey. That's a clean meat.
Right.
You can eat that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can go to your family house, eat a nice plate, get some wine and laugh, whatever. I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving. I just got some food and wine. But you have to abstain from that stuff because, especially if you're a seasoned brother or sister, because now you're an example to others. And you don't want to be a bad example. And it's 2012, man. The Most High bringing destruction, earthquakes, floods, storms, hurricanes. Right now is the time to lock into this truth and forsake this world, man, because this world is going to hell. Right? So go back to Amos 5 and 22. Amos chapter 5, verse 22.
Amos, the 5th chapter and the 22nd verse.
Come on.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings,
Right.
I will not accept them.
Right, we got visuals for you. Right, I will not accept them. Come on.
Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
Right, see that? So basically the Most High is not accepting your offerings of your different meats, your turkey, your fat pig,
Right.
your fat pork that you offer on that day. The Lord is not accepting these days. Go ahead.
Take thou away from me the noise of thy song.
Now you niggas be jamming and having Thanksgiving songs.
Up in the name of
Right? A lot of y'all pumping a little quick, getting a pre-start on the Christmas songs.
Right. Chestnuts.
Right, you getting a pre-start on the Christmas. The Lord don't want to hear that, man. You stepping in the name of love. Right, I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for shining your light on me. All your old school classics. The Lord don't want to hear that, man. A lot of you got music blasting out of your house, chilling, jamming.
Chilling right now.
Right, go ahead.
For I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
The Lord said he don't hear the melody of your vows, man. The Lord don't want to hear that. So we got to abstain from these days, Israel, because it's wicked, man. Go to St. Mark, the 7th chapter. Right, St. Mark, the 7th chapter. We got to abstain from this because Yahushua spoke and told us what to follow and who to follow. The true holy days are written in the Bible. Like I said, 2 weeks from tonight, tomorrow, we got the Hanukkah feast coming up, man. The Feast of Dedication, where we rededicated the temple to the Most High after we defeated the Greeks. We can celebrate that. We don't need Thanksgiving. And that's a true festival of Thanksgiving. We'll go into that a little bit later if we have time. Let's go to Mark 7 and 7.
The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me.
See that? The Lord said, in vain you worship me. Go ahead.
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Right, you act like Thanksgiving got something to do with the Most High. Like the rape, robbery, and murder and slaughter of the Native Americans and the Seminole Indians, that got something to do with the Lord, man. That don't have nothing to do with the Lord. Right, go ahead.
For laying aside the commandments of the Most High power.
There's commandments of holy days in the Bible. Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. What's some more? The book of Esther, for real. Right, the book of the Maccabees, the Feast of Hanukkah. Even though we have holy days and festival celebration days, but our days are written in the scriptures. Go in the scriptures and find Thanksgiving. It's not there. You're going to find that the Gadites will be slaughtered. They will be taken down. We're going to get into that later. But go in the scriptures and find the holiday of Thanksgiving. You're not going to find it because it's not there. Right, go ahead.
For laying aside the commandments of the Most High power.
The true holy days of Yahweh, our power, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Go ahead.
Ye hold the tradition.
What is Thanksgiving?
Ye hold the tradition.
That's a tradition, man. That's nothing commanded by the Most High. From the 2007 Time Classic reissue, display until 8/10/12. They reissued this issue of the Time magazine from 2007. They reissued it this year. But who's on the front of that? Abraham Lincoln. Right? This was the president that set up the holiday of Thanksgiving in 1863, I believe it was. He officially made the fourth Thursday of November to be Thanksgiving. And he did it in October, like a month before. The same day that Lincoln ordered Thanksgiving to be every fourth Thursday of November, he also ordered the slaughter of a group of Native Americans that same day. Right? The same day. Right? We got that on a video. I'm going to bring that out later. But right now, I'm showing the traditions of men. But this was the guy, Lincoln. George Washington, he set up, there were so many so-called white groups of cavalry and soldiers and pilgrims that was slaughtering Native Americans and having feasts afterward, that George Washington decreed, let it be one feast, let it be one day to feast for all the slaughtering of these Native Americans. Because there was so many slaughters of them going on, they were feasting after every slaughter. So George Washington narrowed it down to one. Then Abraham Lincoln gave the official date of every 4th Thursday of November to be so-called Thanksgiving. So see how these guys, your founding forefathers, they're the ones that set up these wicked traditions of men. Go to Isaiah 10:1. Read that.
Woe unto them.
Woe meaning destruction. Go ahead.
That decree, unrighteous decree.
See that's what he set up, an unrighteous decree. Right? How you going to set up the rape, robbery, and murder and slaughtering of the Native American and Seminole Indians, the tribe of Gad and Reuben, and have a celebration each year? A celebration each year for the slaughter of our brothers, man. And then on the day you set up the decree for every 4th Thursday of November, that same day you order the slaughtering of Native Americans that same day. Right, go ahead. I'll bring that out later. Go ahead.
And that right grievousness,
come on,
which they have prescribed.
Which they have what?
Which they have prescribed.
So that they right grievousness that they prescribed. Because they went out and slaughtered, raped, robbed, and murdered the Native American Indians and then set up a day. So there you go. And it's funny this year how the movie Lincoln just came out a couple of weeks ago. And it's funny how they put it right in time for the Thanksgiving season. Right a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving, you put out the movie Lincoln. Man, that's a slap in the face to the Native American Indians, man. To the tribe of Gad and the nation of Israel and the tribe of Reuben. That's just a slap in the face. You're going to put out a movie exalting this man and praising this man like 2-3 weeks before the so-called Thanksgiving. Because you proud so-called white man and the Lord going to destroy you. So go back to Mark 7 and 8. St. Mark chapter 7 verse 8.
Chapter 7 verse 8. For laying aside the commandment of the Most High.
Yeah, you put aside the commandment of the Most High. Like it tell you in Psalms, the 50th chapter, man. Right? You lay aside, you put the Bible behind you, man. You don't judge the right causes of the Most High. Right? Come on.
For laying aside the commandments of the Most High, ye hold the tradition of men.
That's what Thanksgiving is, man. And all these wicked holidays, the tradition of men. Even though Yahushua was talking to the Pharisees here, but that goes into this time also. Because a lot of our people, they hold the tradition of men as opposed to the tradition of the Most High. Go ahead.
As the washing of pots and cups and many other such like things ye do.
Right, so Yahushua was rebuking the Pharisees. But even now today, even a lot of our Negro and Hispanic leaders, what do? They uphold the traditions of men. Right, they uphold these wicked holidays. They on the news and they on these different shows. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Come get a Thanksgiving meal. But commemorate what these days symbolize, man. What they're all about is a wicked slaughter of our brothers, the Native American Indians. The tribe of Gad and the nation of Israel. So let's go to Genesis 49:19 now.
Right. So let's say what they
bring it out.
Washing the pots, right? Every Thanksgiving you got your collard green pot. Right? You got your certain pots that you cook your food in, right? Every single year you break out the turkey pot, the turkey oven roaster pot that you use, your collard green pot, right? You bust out your best china, right? You go in and get the best china for the Thanksgiving, right? These are your traditions, man. Don't eat out that pot, that plate right there. That's for Thanksgiving. That's for the holidays.
Good, okay? Good.
Good. Just what they had on that one with that.
Good, yeah, that's a good point, man, because it does, like I said, it does tie in today because, like the brother said, you got your special pot, got the big pot on the stove for the greens, got the special turkey pan, right, with the 2 handles on the side, big metal pan, make sure you get the handles on the side, get the cover for it, right, or you get the roaster. Yeah. So when you check it out, you have these pots and pans, certain pots and pans that you use for these wicked holidays also. Like, don't touch that pan, like the brother said. Don't touch that. That's for the turkey. Right? No, you can't bake no roast in there. That's for the turkey. Right? I'm gonna clean that nice. That's ready to go in the oven tomorrow. Right? So go to Genesis 49:19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
Right. So I just got a picture right here. We're gonna pull a few excerpts out this book later on. One of the great so-called Native American leaders right here, Chief Joseph, right, of the Nez Perce Indians that fought the white man tooth and nail. Right, you have certain Native American generals, man, the tribe of Gad that were expert in war. We're going to get into that later. Right, but what did the Lord say? Genesis 49:19.
Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
So Gad, through our research, is the so-called Native American Indians. And even the word Gad means troop in the Hebrew. But the troop that was going to overcome them, all right, let's get that right here. Right, what is a troop? We're going to look up in the American Heritage Dictionary, we're going to look up the word cavalry. Right? What was the troop that overcame the tribe of Gad? Because they were a troop also. They were a troop of warriors. But the so-called white man bought the Gatling gun. He bought smallpox, influenza, and different diseases. And that's how he killed off and destroyed the Native American Indians, the tribe of Gad and the nation of Israel. So now we're going to look up in the dictionary the word cavalry. Right? And it reads, thus and so. Salakia. Say something for a minute.
Right? So the so-called white man, he sets up these so-called holidays based off his conquering of other people, like Columbus Day, right? When Christopher Columbus came, right? What he did? But conquer all the so-called Taino Bariqua Indians and the people in the Caribbean islands, right? And they celebrate and worship him. All right? What happened? They celebrate and worship him.
Well, I was saying the turkey with the stuffing at the bottom had blood at the bottom, but the turkey wasn't even fully cooked.
Oh, okay, right. So you see we have the pictures up here, right, to show you the things that our people are eating, man. And we're going to go into that, to the Lord, the dietary menu. You see the ham, the honey glazed ham with the pineapple and cherries that you Negroes is eating up, okay, loving, licking your tongue, licking your fingers and every damn thing, right? You know, okay, you're having a ball, you're having a blast, but you're going against the dietary law. Right? And this picture here shows the Native American Indians celebrating, right? Let me go back to that. They up there celebrating, having a little powwow. But what do you notice in the background? You see guns pointing at them. The pilgrims. Right? They about to blow them to smithereens. And you see, right? Look at the guns in the corners right here. They ain't nothing brothers, man. Okay? The so-called white man is not about peace, man. Okay? So the brother's going to break down the word cavalry that shows that it goes into truth.
Right, so read that again, Genesis 49:19.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
Right, so this is page 143 in the American Heritage Dictionary. It says, cavalry, troops trained to fight on horseback or in light armored vehicles. Comes from the Italian word cavalleria or cavalier or cavalier. Cavalrymen. Right, and right here it has a picture of a U.S. cavalry. Right here it says, Captain Dodge's colored troopers to the rescue by Frederick Remington. Right, it has a picture of the cavalry also right there. There's a so-called white man. He also had black men in his armies also.
Right.
During the Civil War, throughout different periods of history. Right, the so-called Buffalo Soldier. Right, and he used them to overthrow and destroy the Native Americans also. He used a lot of Judah to fight against Gad. Right, and vice versa. But we're going to also go into this book later showing you where Judah and Gad was together. Right, they was coming together, and one of the Native American leaders, so-called Gadite leaders, he told the so-called Negroes, he said, if I can get y'all to realize that the so-called white man is your enemy and you're slaves to him, we can come together and overthrow him. Right? By Shema Mashiach. So every Gadite or Negro wasn't some Sambo coon that just wanted to be up under the so-called white man. Right? So that was the truth that overcame the tribe of Gad. Read that again, Genesis 49:19.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 19.
Come
Gad,
on.
a troop shall overcome him.
What did the Lord say?
A troop shall overcome him.
A troop shall overcome him. Go ahead.
But he shall overcome at the last.
Right, because the Most High will raise up the tribe of Gad off the reservations. He's going to raise them up in his truth, because remember, there's 12,000 leaders of the tribe of Gad that's coming back into this truth.
Get out.
Right, give me Ecclesiasticus 25 and 7. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 verse 7.
The book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 verse 7. there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy.
Read.
And the 10th I will utter with my tongue.
Read.
A man that hath joy of his children.
A man that hath joy of his children. Go ahead.
And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
Right, that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Because the Most High going to raise up the tribe of Gad. Now I'm going to read it again. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So we're going to live to see our so-called Native American Gadite brothers rise up and get you so-called white people back and get vengeance on you for the evil that you have done unto them. Right, so let's get Deuteronomy 33 now. Get the next prophecy on Gad in Deuteronomy the 33rd chapter, and I believe it's the 20th verse. So all this is in the scriptures, man. We know who the tribes are. A lot of you say, oh, Native Americans are not our people. We gonna go in some of the books and show where even the so-called white scholars identified the so-called Native Americans as Hebrews, man. You talking about they Chinese, and we gonna dispel that too. How they didn't come from the Bering Strait, and they're not so-called Chinese. By Shema Mashak Yahushua, we're gonna get into that. Right? So go to Deuteronomy 33, and you got something in that book?
Yeah, let's read this.
Okay, Deuteronomy 33, and let's get 20.
And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Right, because the so-called Native Americans, they came over and they possessed this whole so-called U.S. now, man. As a so-called white man, you came and raped, robbed, and murdered and stole this land from the Native American Indians, man. Right? The Lord said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. Because the Most High brought the tribe of Gad over here. And when you look on the ancient Native American, so-called Native American maps, you see the massive amount of land that the so-called Gadites have all over America, man. Now you so-called white people have took America, and you take all the citizens and pack them in cities, and take the tribe of Gad and pack them on a reservation. Man, they have plains and plains of land and field they were dwelling on when they came in this land, man. But you so-called white people, like the murderers and the thieves that you are, you came and raped, robbed, and murdered, and slaughtered them. Give me Micah 2:2. Right, hold Deuteronomy 33 and 20, and we're going to get Micah 2:2. Say it again, huh? You was bringing out something?
Nah, you too wild, man. I was following you. They cover fields and take them by the dollars.
All right. Give Micah chapter 2, verse 2. Right, yeah, man. The Lord said he blessed and enlarged Gad because they had a great, massive land when they came over here. Even Canada, right? Some parts of Mexico, all that you took from the tribe of Gad, man. All that land you so-called white people raped, robbed, and murdered, and stole. You just came and took Canada, took so-called North America from the Native American Indians, man. Because the Most High enlarged them and gave them this land. Right? Give me Micah 2:2.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields.
Right, they covet fields. They lust after and desire fields, different parts and lands of the world. Go ahead.
And take them by violence.
And do what?
And take them by violence.
And that's exactly what you did. You came and raped, robbed, murdered, and slaughtered the so-called Native American. It tells you that in this book. It tells you about the Trail of Tears. Right, or how the so-called Native Americans traveled throughout different parts of America on a trail of tears of all the lands that the so-called white man was just following them and killing them and raping and robbing and murdering them and taking their land from them. Right, so read it again, brother.
Micah 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
And they take them?
By violence.
Right, you still lands through violence, man. You're always going and bombing and killing somebody. Now you have more sophisticated weaponry and technology, so you're always going and bombing and killing somebody now. Right? Come on.
And houses.
Read.
And take them away.
Houses and take them away. Go ahead.
So they oppress a man.
They oppress a man. Go ahead.
And his house.
And his house. And it tells you in the history how a lot of so-called Native Americans, the Gadite brothers and sisters, what did you do, man? You raped, robbed, and murdered them and dispossessed them out of their houses. A lot of times, you would lure so-called Native Americans out of their houses, and you would be waiting with a contingency of men and slaughter them off, man. You would slaughter their wives, their children, everything. It's all in the history, man. Right, so go ahead.
And and so he oppressed a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Right, and a lot of you took that knowledge away from the so-called Native Americans that they were Hebrew Israelites. Even though the so-called, the tribe of Gad, they started to go off into worshiping the sun, the moon, right, the buffalo and different things, smoking the peace pipe,
Nature worship.
Right, nature worship, man. Worshiping, they got into that nature worship spirit, which the Most High tells us in Deuteronomy the 4th chapter that we wasn't supposed to do that. That would be a curse to us. And also in the first commandment, thou shalt have no other powers before me. So when the so-called Native Americans start going off into that, that's when the Most High brought the so-called white man to judge them and punish them. But when they first came here, as we're going to show in some of the history, they were keeping the laws of the Most High as Israelites. Right? But you took that heritage, you slaughtered them off and took their heritage from them. Now a lot of you so-called Native Americans, if you want to make it in America, the tribe of Gad, you got to conform and look like the white man. You can't have your ponytail and your fringes and your ancient garments. Now you got to put on a suit and tie, cut your hair off, look all Americanized. Right? Because they took your heritage away from you. Because all that dress code and everything, the crown and everything that the so-called Native Americans was wearing, all that was part of their history, man. The fringes, all that was in the law. Right, so go back to where we was at, Deuteronomy 33 and 20.
Can I bring this up right
bring it up.
On that scripture right there, right? This is First People, an illustrated history of American Indians. Get a close-up of that, brother. Please, brother, right? First People, an illustrated history of American Indians. All right? I was coming from LA and I stopped at, I think it was Oklahoma, or Ohio, one of those places, right? And I saw this book, so I just picked it up. So right on key, the brother is talking about Micah 2:2. We read in the scriptures, and they cover fields and take them by violence. What it says here, in the caption here. Why would you destroy us who supply you with food? Chief Powhatan, or Powhatan, right? Right? And it says right here, in 1622, accompanied by a large band of warriors, he launched the measles and smallpox and numbered only about 5,000. So it's talking about how these so-called Europeans came over here. It was basically bringing their damn diseases and everything with them. I mean, I didn't read everything in here. I wish I'd have really got time to go into this, but this is a lot of history right here. And this page says the final New England War, by 1670, the colonists numbered more than 50,000, putting increasing land pressure on the Indians. Repeated epidemics of smallpox and other European diseases continued to weaken the Indians in the area, who now numbered only about 10,000. The key player in the next conflict was a strong Indian leader named Metacom. Metacom was Sachem of the Wampanoag and the son of the great Massasu, who had been present at the first Thanksgiving. And what it says here about the first Thanksgiving, so the friendly relationships enjoyed at the first Thanksgiving did not last long. Because the so-called white man, he's not about peace. He's not about peace, man. So get this book, man. If you can find this book, it's called The First People, an illustrated history of American Indians, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really go through it as much, but there's some things in here I went through, and I'll bring it out also, because like the brother said, a lot of you say that they're not.
Author again?
This is, the author is David C. King, right?
Right.
And look how dark the sister is on the front.
Right.
Okay? And you're going to talk about the North American Indians are red.
Right.
How the hell you get red out of here?
Right.
Get red out of here, like the Kai said. What is that? This is a black woman right here, black sister, young girl. How the hell you get the North American Indians are red out of this picture?
Bring it up.
How can you get that? Right? Therefore, you want to have something to say. Here in this picture, you have a North American Indian brother, right? On his we call it the canoe. Right? And what do we have on there? The shield of David. Huh? The shield of David back then. How about that one? Before you had your Google.
Right. Google images.
You had your Google images and your search and stuff. They had it right here.
Bring it out.
Right? So I guess they was going off too, right? Why they got the symbol, right? Because it represents the nation of Israel, whether you want to accept it or not. The Native Americans have the shield of David. How about that for you, buddies?
Because they were Hebrew Israelites.
They was Hebrew Israelites.
Was it the Star of Rephaim?
Right, it was the Star of Rephaim. Okay? Right there, man.
Good.
So you out there, look at this North American Indian brother. Right? Look at him. Do he look like a dang so-called white man? You see that woolly hair up there?
Right.
Right? Look at his woolly hair. Brown-skinned man.
Yeah.
Right? These ain't the Yeshaya images either.
Right.
Okay? They gotta
Get a black man out of that.
Get a black man out of that. Okay? We ain't doing that over here. Okay?
Nah, you go
Okay.
get the real images.
They gonna get the real images, man. They were showing an old black or Native American woman right here. All right? Dark skin, she's brown skin, right?
Yeah, bring it up.
Right? Another one. Right? All through this book, man, got a lot of good images in this book, but the first page of the whole book is a very, look at the images here. The guy on this page.
Bring it up.
Look at the images here.
Yo, I'll bring something out.
Right.
You know they wasn't gooks, right? Like they like to call them.
Right.
Or Chinese, like they say, by the fact that the white man named them Indian.
Right.
Going off of what Elam was kind of looking like Elam. So they for a fact that they didn't look like no damn Chinese.
Right.
He ain't call them Asian, or he ain't call them, come in here and say I got the new Asia or new China.
Right,
He said,
right,
I got the Indian.
Right.
He got here with a bunch of dark people looking black Asiatic. Like even Elam, when you go to that country, their hair is woolly, except for the ones that are mixed with Esau or whatever that they put on TV.
Right. Bring it up.
All right.
Yeah. And they go into, we're going to do another part on it, but they even go on in this book about the Ice Age and the land bridge and all that madness. You sort of throw a little lie in there somewhere.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your behind trying to walk across that barren strait and see if your behind won't turn to an icicle.
Woolly mammoth.
The hell out of here. Woolly mammoth and every damn thing they got in the picture, man. Come on.
Right.
Okay? So-called white man. He gotta make up a lie like the Big Bang Theory. All of us is here because something blew up and exploded. Right? Let me put a pack of C4 on you and blow you up and see if you're going to come back together again. Get the hell out of here with that madness. The white man is a liar.
And the father of it.
Is the father of it.
Right, so where we was at?
Back in Deuteronomy
33 and 20 again.
Deuteronomy 33, verse 20. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Come on.
He dwelleth as a lion.
Wait a minute, get that first part again.
And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Right, because Gad came over here and they had this great land, man. They had this large mass of land. But what did the so-called white man do? Go to Deuteronomy 27 and 17. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 17. Now these are laws that apply to the Israelites, but the so-called white man, he's going to be judged also because he didn't keep not one law in his Bible.
Right.
The Most High said, look, I'm going to give you rulership of the earth, but are you going to live? Are you going to judge the world by my word? No. Right? You said, in God we trust. You put the Bible in all your institutions, but you didn't live according to these scriptures. Right? So you was a hypocrite. The Lord said, all right, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you rulership, and I'm going to give you the Bible. Let's see what you're going to do with it. And what did you do? You didn't keep not one law in this Bible, so-called white man. You rape, rob, murder, and slaughter. So go to Deuteronomy 27 and 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark.
Right, see that these laws mainly apply for the children of Israel, but it's universal law. The Most High's law is universal law. Because when we fell to the so-called white man, what did the so-called white man do? He took the laws of the Bible to establish his penal code. Right? His whole system of law is based on the scriptures, but they pervert it. But a lot of what their law stands for is based on scripture. Right? That's why they sell us the bad meat.
Right.
Right? They sell us the bad meat. We supposed to do that to them. That's what they charge us usury. Right? We supposed to do that to them. They go by the Bible, man. You get a damn loan and the interest is 1,000%. Right? That's the so-called white man taking our laws that we were allowed to do to the heathen and doing it to us. In the book of Leviticus, it tells the Israelites, only of the heathen shall make slaves.
Right.
So what did the so-called white man do? Only of the nations that's not him, he gonna make them slaves.
Right.
So he took our laws and used them. So now we're gonna use them back on you. See that guy, brother? Read Deuteronomy 27:17.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark.
Come on.
And all the people shall say amen.
See that? All the people shall say amen.
Right.
You remove your neighbor's landmark. There it is.
There you go. That scripture we read this there and Deuteronomy. Indian culture region. Before the arrival of Europeans, North America was home to hundreds of individual tribes which occupied 10 basic cultural regions. These regions have been defined by modern experts based on geography, climates, and shared cultural practices. Right, so it's basically showing you all of this land was Gad. Right, like the brother was going into. All this was Gad. Right, here comes the damn so-called white man. He just can't have the southeast. He went the northeast. Then he want to get the Great Plains. Oh, I went southwest too. I went here, Great Plains. I want to go up here. I want to take every damn thing. Okay? He want to take everything. All right? But he still want to get next. You conquered the world, man. Your time is up. It's over for you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Forget about it, man. So it's showing you the land of Gad as we read it. Right? In Deuteronomy 27:17 and Deuteronomy 33:20.
Right. You remove your neighbor's landmark, Esau. Right. Because when the so-called white man came over here, the tribe of Gad treated them friendly, man. They taught them how to cook. What do you think the festival of Thanksgiving comes from the Feast of Tabernacles? Because the Native Americans, they used to celebrate the harvest festival. The tribe of Gad and Reuben, they used to celebrate the harvest festival. Where did they get that from? Because they were Hebrews. That's why the brother showed the shield of David on a canoe. And we're going to get into the book showing how they were speaking Hebrew and they had Hebrew customs because they were Israelites. Right? They were Israelites. So that's why they were celebrating the harvest festival. So what the so-called white man did, the Puritans, they were sort of like religious fanatics, they slaughtered the Native Americans and they went into the scriptures and they stole the custom and saw how we celebrated, the Gadites celebrated a harvest festival, so they made up Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is also commemorative of a harvest festival. That's why whenever you check it out, every year around the time that we have the Feast of Tabernacles, it's Thanksgiving up in Canada. Right? Canada's Thanksgiving is always in early October. And most of the time, it lands around the same time that the brothers and sisters in this truth are keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. Because it's a harvest festival that they stole, and now they made it into so-called Thanksgiving. Check it out. Canada already have their Thanksgiving in October. And a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times it aligns right with our Feast of Tabernacles. Because they stole that harvest festival from us. So read that one more time. We're going to go back to Deuteronomy 33:20.
Deuteronomy 27:17. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark.
And the brother just showed the maps, right? And you can look up the ancient. I had a map, but I wasn't able to get it in time for the filming. But I will show it on another video of all the land that the so-called Native Americans possessed when they first came here. And the so-called white man basically stole it from them. And that's in basic American history. Right. You can get an ancient map of the Native Americans and they give you all the different tribes of Gadites and different lands that they possessed when they came over here. Right, go ahead.
And all the people should say, Amen.
So this was different laws that the Most High gave about landmark and removing a man being cursed when he removes a neighbor's landmark. So go back to Deuteronomy 33:20. Read that, brother.
And of God he said, blessed be he that enlargeth God.
Come on.
He dwelleth as a lion.
Right, God dwelt as lions, like warriors, man. They were fierce warriors. And also, when you look in history, they used to paint their face like the lions. And they used to hide down in the bushes and the woods, and they would attack the enemy. They would roll up and attack. They were fierce warriors just like lions. And they actually painted their face during the time of war as lions. Go ahead.
But he that enlargeth Gad, he dwelleth as a lion and teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
Right, so say something for me, and I'm going to get these images.
Okay, so showing you, man, our people, Gad was and he also going on Chronicles, it goes into the different tribes and the war talents and skills that each tribe had. And even over there tell you that Gad, looked like a lion. Okay? And he's gonna get the images now, some images as well in this book. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High is gonna bring us back together, man. Okay, we got 12 tribes, several flavors, man. Okay, and all of them have unique talents and skills, man. You think the so-called white man of the nation gonna be able to stop us when the Most High give us that power and turn our spirit back up? You know what I'm saying? To where we was like powers on the planet Earth, right? The scripture says we are gods, right? So the Most High gonna turn us back up. And what you gonna do, right? Because Gad is gonna be terrible, man. Gad was terrible for y'all to even get this country, okay? All right, they didn't bow out. The tribe of Gad, there were like 4 tribes that really sold the hell out, okay? But Gad was not just selling out, and especially Reuben. Reuben never sold. I tell you that in the history books. Reuben didn't sell out, man. Reuben fought to the bitter end so we couldn't fight no more, but he wasn't doing all that signing treaties every damn week. The so-called white man, okay? He held his dignity, man. Okay, you got your images?
Right, yeah, this is that book, An Illustrated Early History, America, An Illustrated Early History by Time. Now, it's some other pages I got in here. I'm going to find those in a minute. But right here, I want to go to page 82 and 83. Now, notice one thing right here. What does the so-called Native Americans have? The tribe of Gad and Reuben had. They had the so-called tents or teepees. You got that? Right, they got the tents or the teepees, which this is commemorative of the tents and the booths and the temporary housing that we lived in the wilderness during the Feast of Tabernacles that we celebrate each year, that harvest festival. So that's symbolic to that, of how they were dwelling in the teepees also, or the so-called tents. Now right here, if you can zoom in, it's kind of a small image. I'm going to show some bigger ones. But right here, read Deuteronomy 33 and 20 again, that last part.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 20. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, feed and the arm with the crown of the head.
What are the so-called Native Americans famous for also? The blood brother treaty, man. And what do? They take the feather from the crown, right? If you can zoom in on that, I know the images are small. Maha got a bigger one in this book, right? They would take the feather. You can look. This is in general history about the so-called Native Americans, the tribe of Gad. They take the feather, the crown. They would make their crowns out of different feathers. This was also why the Most High allowed the so-called white man to use the turkey as a Thanksgiving bird, because a lot of times they would use the turkey feathers to make their crowns. They would use the so-called turkey feathers, and they would take the feathers out of the crown. And remember, on the tip of the feather, like you would have a felt tip pen or a feather tip pen. Remember, they used to use feathers to write with, because the tip of it is sharp. So they would take the feather and they would cut their arm and make the blood brother treaty or pact. Right, and that's in the Bible, what we're reading right now. Read it again, 33 and 20.
Read.
Deuteronomy 33 and 20, read.
And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Read.
He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
Right, what is that talking about? I'm going to show a better picture here. Here's Crazy Horse. Right, a Gadite leader that gave the so-called white man hell. Right. And Crazy Horse got what? A feather in his head. Right, he just got, one feather representing his crown, right? And they would take the feather out their head and they would cut their arm and make the blood brother treaty or pact. And that's Israel. They tear off the arm with the crown of the head. Right, so the so-called Native Americans are Israelites, man. They're the tribe of Gad of the nation of Israel. There's another brother with a crown. Right, that's Red Cloud, another great so-called Gadite warrior. He's been, well, look at this one right here.
There's Chief Joseph. He was just talking about, right?
Yeah, look, this Chief Joseph right here. Right, they mentioned a Little Bighorn. These were all great Gadite leaders. I'm gonna name some other ones out of this dictionary I got to. There's Chief Joseph right there. Fierce Gadite warriors, man. Right, and what does it say? Final victories, final defeats. These men fought to the death, man. Right, so you see the crown thereof. And also right here, if you can zoom in on that right there, this is one of Chief Joseph's shirts. And what does the shirt have on it? Fringes hanging. And we're going to get into the fringes. We know that's in the law. But they got the fringes hanging on Chief Joseph's shirt. I mean, Crazy Horse's shirt. So now we see shields of David, fringes, right? Blood brother packs.
Right.
Look like the Gadites are Israelites to me. Right? So-called Native Americans, right? So read on. We want to show something.
Like painting their faces like the brother.
Yeah, go ahead, bring it out.
Look at that. Look at them painting their faces. Can you film? Can you get a close up of this, brother? Right? See the North America? See our brothers right here painting their faces? Right? Looking scary as hell too. Right? Looking like they're ready to do some damage, man. And Gad was tall.
Right.
Gad is tall, man. They're not short, man. Like they be trying to show, man. Trying to act like they, you know, these damn Asians is like 4 feet tall, man. Gad is tall, man. What the hell are you talking about, man? Okay? You talking about the ones y'all put in the damn movies. Right?
Alright, so since, like we talked about, he dwelleth as a lion, which meant he was a mighty warrior. I'm going to read this caption right here about Crazy Horse. This is page 85, I believe it is. Right, it says, Crazy Horse's shirt, an artifact of Crazy Horse's shirt. Warrior Chief Crazy Horse was known by his fellow Sioux as a shirt wearer, a term denoting his status as a leader in battle. Born around 1840, he was present when Sioux braves killed 29 U.S. soldiers in the Grafton Massacre of 1854. With Sitting Bull left, he was a leader of the Sioux in the Indian victory at the Little Bighorn 22 years later. His shirt adorned with human hair is on display at the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington. Right, so showing you they were killing and slaughtering U.S. soldiers and fighting them in battle because they were dwelling like lions, like fierce lion-like warriors. And we're going to read that one later also, like the brother said, in 1 Chronicles. So read on to Deuteronomy 33 and 21.
Deuteronomy, you got that?
Yeah, I got it.
Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 21. And he provided the first part for himself.
Right, because Gath came over here and they saw this beautiful land, man, and they took this land for themselves. While the rest of the tribes, when you read the rest of the other tribes that came over here with Gad, they took different portions of the land, but Gad took their land for themselves also. Right, go ahead.
Because there, in a portion of the lawgiver, was he seated.
Was he what?
Was he seated.
So now I need history of the American Indian. But I need that book. I got to bring out a point on that verse right there. That precept you read right there. So now, Maha, elaborate on something. I'm going to find this page in here. That goes into when it says there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. Now we're going to get something out of this book that explains that. Right? History of the American Indian. Great book. Excellent book. Right? Going into the history of the so-called Native American. This book single-handedly proves that the tribe of Gad are the so-called Native American Indians, and they are Hebrew Israelites. Now read that part again, Razawan.
And he provided the first part for himself.
Come on.
Because there, in a portion of the lawgiver, was he seated.
Right, when a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. Now who were the lawgivers of the Most High? The Mosaic law was given to Moses, and it was given to the Levites to teach to the rest of the nation of Israel. And when you read all throughout Genesis to Deuteronomy, mainly Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, it tells you about the Levitical laws and the customs that was given to the priests of Israel. But this book is going to tell you how the tribe of Gad, when they came over here to America, they were emulating the Levites and the Mosaic customs and rituals back from ancient Israel. This is History of the American Indian by James Adair. I'm going to read page 88 and page 84. Right? And it says, the Mosaic ceremonial institutions are acknowledged by our best writers to represent the Messiah. They understood. The tribe of Gad understood the Messiah. Right? Get St. John 10:16 real quick. St. John chapter 10 verse 16. So the tribe of Gad, the Native Americans are Israelites, man. Yeah. The Reubenites, Seminole Indians are Israelites, man. Stop the madness. You got all these wild videos on YouTube. Those are not our people. Right? Those are Asians. Those people. And how could those people with slanted eyes and straight hair be our people? But we're going to show you images of black Indians. Right? That don't have no chinky eyes and straight hair. Right? We're going to show you images of them in this book and go into how they were fighting with Judah. They were putting Judah, they were putting Gadite clothing on Judites and setting them up as kings and warriors amongst them. Because they knew we were the same people. Right? So now, it says, give me St. John 10:16 real quick.
St. John 10:16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
So where was Yahushua? He was telling the Jews, the southern kingdom in Israel, that other sheep, he was talking about the other 10 tribes that was on this western hemisphere. What did Yahushua say?
And other sheep
he said, other sheep I have, go ahead.
Which are not of this fold.
And that's not talking about the Gentiles and the other nations. He was talking about the Israelites that was scattered abroad. The northern kingdom. Right? The other so-called Israelite foreigners or strangers or northern kingdom that was scattered abroad on this western hemisphere. Read on.
The other sheep I have, and other sheep I have which are not of this fold.
Come on.
Them also I must bring.
Them what I what?
And them also I must bring.
That's why the so-called Native Americans, they understood about the Messiah. That's where you get the Book of Mormon from. So-called false prophet John Smith claimed the Book of Mormon was revealed to him one day and God called him to be a prophet of the Lord. You so-called white men are not no prophets of the Lord. And the Lord ain't revealed a damn thing to you.
Right.
I got to get my Yeshaya horn, right? Ain't nothing been revealed to you. You ain't nothing but the devil that the Bible speaks of. Ain't nothing got revealed to you, Esau. Right? John Smith, the Book of Mormon was revealed to him. The Book of Mormon is the records of the tribe of Gad, of the Native Americans, when they was over here in America. And they spoke about the Messiah, the second coming. They spoke about the 144,000 elect, all that in the Book of Mormon. That was the records and the writings of the tribe of Gad of the nation of Israel. Right? And they knew about the Messiah. So read that one more time, St. John 10:16.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
So Yahushua said, other sheep I have. Remember, the sheep is the nation of Israel.
Right, Matthew 15:24.
Right, Matthew 15:24. Jeremiah, what, 50 and 16? Or 50 and 6, I believe it is. Right, go ahead.
Them also I must bring.
He's talking about the other tribes that were scattered over here. Come on.
And they shall hear my voice.
Read.
And there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
That goes with, that links up with Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. When the Most High said he's going to take the stick of Joseph and the stick of Judah and make them one stick. By Shema Mashiach. That goes with Ezekiel 37 to St. John 10:16. The Most High said he's going to bring the two kingdoms back together again because we were split up. You had remnants that still followed the Messiah, but he said he was going to bring us back. So now this is History of the American Indian, page 88. The Mosaic ceremonial institutions are acknowledged by our best writers to represent the Messiah under various types and shadows. In like manner, the religious customs of the American Indians seem to typify or imitate the same. According to divine promise that the seed of the woman should bruise the head of the serpent, Genesis 3:15. Right? It would bruise the head of the serpent, and that it should bruise his heel. Right? Give me Genesis 3:15 real quick. Right? So in other words, he's saying that the Native American Indians, they understood the scriptures. They understood about the Messiah, and they understood about Genesis 3:15, the prophecy. Right? Read that, brother. Genesis 3:15.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
The Lord is telling Satan, I'm going to put enmity, division, hatred, strife between you and the woman. Right? Go ahead.
And between thy seed.
And between what?
And between thy seed.
Which eventually will become the so-called white man. Because he would be the seed of the serpent, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Go ahead.
And her seed.
And her seed, not her seed, because they use this scripture to try to prove immaculate conception.
Right.
See, the woman had the seed. No, the seed that she would carry of the man. Remember, that goes with Revelations 12, where the woman would bring forth the man child, Yahweh Shai. Right? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Right? Go ahead.
And between thy seed and her seed,
come on,
it shall bruise thy head.
Meaning what? They would crucify Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
And thou shalt bruise his heel.
Because what happened when Jacob and Esau was born, Jacob's hand held Esau's heel, symbolically representing that Esau was going to come down, he was going to fall as a nation, he's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followed. And they would bruise our head. Why? Because they would crucify Yahweh Shai. And this book is letting you know the Gadites understood that.
Bring it out.
Right? Because they're Israelites. They're the people of the Lord. So the knowledge of the Bible was revealed to them. Right? So go ahead.
All right. Who's reading on back in Matthew?
No, back. I was reading in the books.
Right.
That is your bruiser's heel. The Levitical. Now check this out. We just read in Deuteronomy. Read that in Deuteronomy 33 and 20 again.
Deuteronomy chapter 33.
This is the main important part, what I'm about to read now. Read that again, brother.
And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Come on.
He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
Read.
And he provideth the first part for himself, because there, in a portion of the lawgiver.
In a what?
In a portion of the lawgiver.
The portion of the lawgiver, go ahead.
Was he seated.
He was seated. So now, this is in History of the American Indians by James Adair, page 88. The Levitical high priest wore a breastplate, which they call Hosekim, and on it the Urim and Thummim, signifying lights and perfection. The Urim and Thummim is like what you would call crystal balls today, where the Levite priest would pray to the Most High and get vision through these crystal balls. It says signifying lights and perfection, for they are the plurals of Awara, right, which inverted makes Irawa, and Thara, all right, the law. Now, it says Thara right here, but it's Thawara in the Hebrew. What does that mean? The law. Right, that's where you get the word Torah from. Right. So now, wait a minute, the Native Americans understood about the Torah.
Wow.
And the Urim and the Thummim.
Right.
Right, which was for the Levites.
Right, for the Levites.
Right, because in a portion of the lawgiver was they seated.
Right, exactly.
Because when they came over here, they acted as lawgivers amongst the 10 tribes.
They took that.
Right.
They took the Levitical position, basically, on this side.
Correct. It says, as it directed them under the dark shadows to Messiah, the lamp of light and perfection. Didn't Yahweh Shai say he's the light of the world?
Right.
So what it's saying here is all of this symbolized the Messiah being the light of perfection, and the tribe of Gad understood that. The Native Americans are Israelites. Right. So even a white man knows that. Right. So let's read on. It says,
right. Who you worship.
Who you worship. Right. You don't believe us, so believe him.
Right. Believe
History of the Native American Indian by James Adair. I didn't write this book.
Right.
This is Maha's book that he got. Right, but we didn't write this. Is James Adair. I got my copy at home. I just remember some of the pages. So I said, well, I got the book. I ain't got to carry my heavy book. Right. So let me read on. It says, in resemblance of this sacred pectoral or breastplate, the American archer magus wears a breastplate made of white conch shell, meaning like in other words, like the high priest amongst the Native American Indian, the tribe of Gad, they wore something resembling the breastplate. It says, in other words, they wore garments. A lot of these garments that you would see with them on, it was symbolic. They were emulating the Levite priests. That's what it's saying here. It says, with 2 holes bored in the middle of it, through which he puts the ends of an outer skin strap. And and fastens a buckhorn white button to the outside of each, as if an imitation of the precious stones of Urim, which miraculously blazoned from the high priest's breast. In other words, they were imitating, right, the garments of the Levite priests, because they were acting as ceremonial Levite priests over here when they first got here, keeping the laws of the Most High, which miraculously blazoned from the high priest's breast the unerring words of the divine oracle, instead of the plate of gold which the Levite wore on his forehead, bearing these words, Kodash la Yahweh, or Kodesh li Yehovah, holy or separate to the Most High. The Indian wears around his temples either a wreath of swan feathers or a long piece of swan skin, doubled so as only the fine snowy feathers appear on each side. And in likeness of the tiara of the former, the latter wears on the crown of his head a tuft of white feathers, which they call yatera. Now I'm going to get to this main point right here. He likewise fastens a tuft of blunted wild turkey cock's furs, or turkey feathers. That's where you get the so-called white man use the turkey to like mock the tribe of Gad, because they use the turkey feathers to make their crowns out of. And the crown was imitating the gold crown that the Levites would wear. They were emulating it. So that's why in a portion of the lawgiver was they seated. It says, toward the toes of the upper part of his moccasins, as if in resemblance to the 72 bells which the Levitical high priest wore on his coat of blue. By So they were imitating the Levites in their garments.
The white man said it.
Right, the so-called white man said it.
Right.
Now, let's read back up here.
Deep. I didn't read that one. See that?
It said, instead of the plate of gold which the Levite wore on his forehead, bearing these words, Kodash La, they got Kodesh Li Yehovah here, but it's really Kodash La Yahweh. Now wait a minute. The Levites wore the name of the Most High on their forehead. And the Gadites was imitating them. Can you get that out? Right? The Gadites was imitating them because why? They knew the name of the Most High also.
Focus on that.
By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Right here, where it says, had bearing these words, Kodash La Yahweh, or Kodesh in a modern Li Yehovah. Now, Kodesh is supposed to be Kodash in the ancient.
Right. They
got K-A-D-E-S-H, but it's supposed to be Q-A-D-A-S-H. Li is supposed to be La in the ancient, L-A, which means two. And Yehovah is supposed to be Yahweh. Instead of the O, it's supposed to be an A. The E, that's the modern. The O and the E was added to the modern. The E is supposed to be an A, and then you have Wa, which would give you Yahweh. But it still have the letters here, like what Esau called a tetragrammaton, like the 4 letters of the Most High Yahweh's name. Now give me Exodus 3. No, matter of fact, let's not get the name yet. I just want to show that. Zoom in on that. Right? Where it says Kodash La Yahweh, which was written on the priests. But Gad was imitating that in their crowns because they understood the name of the Most High, and that the Most High was holy, right, and sacred, and that it meant holy or separate or sacred to the Most High, to Yahweh. It says to God here, but to Yahweh. So just some things showing you that the Native Americans, they were keeping the customs of the ancient priests of Israel because they were Hebrews themselves. So read that again, brother. Deuteronomy 33 and 21.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 21. Select. And he provided the first part for himself.
Come on.
Because there, in a portion of the lawgiver, was he seated. And he came with the heads of the people.
Meaning he came with the rest of the tribes, Ephraim and all the other tribes. Because Ephraim is like the leaders of the northern kingdom. Even though Gad acted as priest, Ephraim is still like the leader of the northern kingdom. Gad.
He executed the justice of Yahweh and his judgments with Israel.
Right, because he was acting as lawgivers and priests amongst Israel also. So we just proved that and showed that in this book. I'm going to get one more, and I think, Maha, you want to bring out something?
Fine.
Right, I'm going to get one more, and then we're going to move on. Right, so this is, check this out. This is page 50. History of American Indian by James Adair, page 50. Now check this out. I got to read this last line. It says, oh, for the space of a minute, then they strike up majestic heat on the treble with a very intent voice as long as their breath allows them. And on a bass key with a loud voice and short accent, they at last utter the strong, mysterious sound, wah. So in other words, they let you know right here, the Native Americans, they would sing songs and they would say Yah, He, and Wah, which is Yahweh if you replace the He with a Ha. Right? Let me read on. It says, and thus finish the great song or most solemn invocation of the divine essence. The notes together compose their sacred, mysterious name. Yo-He-Wah, which is Yahweh. Really, we just broke that down. That this seems to be the true Hebrew pronunciation of the divine essential name, Yahweh. Jehovah will appear more obvious from the sound they seem to have given their characters. So letting you know right there, again, they knew the name Yahweh. Just a different pronunciation, but they knew the name Yahweh. And they knew, and right here Esau calls it Jehovah, but we know that's a perverted or Americanized or English version of Yahweh. Right, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Right, so they knew the Most High's name. Right, so say something for a minute. Let me get this scripture in Genesis.
God, man, when you start doing your research and start looking up all these different things, I mean, it's crazy how this as we going through it, and I'm going through this book, I'm seeing everything that's being mentioned in the Bible, right? Correlate with these history books, man. Okay? All we gotta do is just seek and we shall what? Find, man. Okay? Everything is here right before your face, man, as long as you're on the right path. Okay? We got the Hebrew alphabet right here. We got the alphabet of the Cherokees right here. Alright? And I want Zabach to take a look at this right quick, and while I bring out this other point, and he can relate that to the language. They got the dial there.
Okay, Carl.
They got the Hebrew alphabet there. Okay? And I have a book here also. I know we might still want to be up in there. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Right. Okay? This book is be dropping some bangers too. Okay? Let me read a couple of them for you while you get that. Page 364. Right? And it says on page 363, a lost tribe discovered in New York. Right? It says in September 1644, a Portuguese Moreno named Antonio de Matosinhos arrived in Amsterdam after having lived for some years in South America, and proceeded to tell the leaders of the recently established Jewish community there a story that caused them to think of him as a latter-day Eldad the Danite, trying to say he's an Israelite, trying to claim the tribe of Dan, okay, so-called Dan, white boy, right? Okay. 2.5 years before, he told them while traveling in the wild mountains of Quito. Quito is the capital of Ecuador, right? So now, let's see what he says. Quito, he had heard some of his Indian guys remark that the natives of that country deserve all the suffering they have undergone at the hands of the Spaniards. Let's see why. When he asked them to explain why they thought such a thing, they had replied mysteriously that it was because so we badly treated a holy people, the greatest in the world. Deuteronomy 6 and 7.
76?
76, thank you. Right? It says, badly treated and holy people. Saying that these people in Quito, in Ecuador, right, are holy people. Right? What's that? That's Zebulon, Naphtali?
Wait, what you saying?
Asher?
Asher.
Asher, Quito, in Ecuador.
Ecuador, Asher.
That's Asher.
Asher, yeah.
Where Kabarian from, right? Peru and all that. Right? So they deserve to be treated like this, right? Because they fulfill the prophecies, the curses. Right? So read Deuteronomy 7:6 right quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power.
So who's the holy people? The Israelites.
Bring it up.
Deuteronomy 1:1. The whole book of Deuteronomy is talking to the Israelites. Read Deuteronomy 1:1 right quick.
All right. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan.
So he's speaking to the Israelites. So now what he said in 7 and 6?
For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power.
How you going to say these are holy people? Right?
Yeah,
right? Who's the holy people? The Israelites. Go ahead.
Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people.
Above what?
Above all people.
Now here it says, we so badly treated a holy people, the greatest in the world. The same thing that you just read there. Right? The greatest in the world. All right? So we know who the Bible says the greatest in the world is.
That's it.
It's the Israelites. Then it goes down and says, and there's another scripture in Samuel that could go with that greatest in the world too. But I can't think of it right now. Nothing more had been offered by them on this point. But later in the same conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guys, declared that his countrymen would be avenged upon the Spaniards in time anyway. Right? Troops shall overcome them, right? By means of a people now hidden. So who the hidden ones? Psalms 83. Right? Psalms 83 talks about the hidden people.
When we finish 7 and 6?
Yeah, no, that's good on 7 and 6. Go to Psalms 83.
All right. Psalms 83, verse 1.
Yeah, 1, right.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Consult against who?
Thy hidden ones.
It says here, by means of a people now hidden. Now let's see who the Bible said were all these hidden ones. Let's read it.
Against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. There's this so-called European mixed down so-called Jewish white man, right, is telling you that the people over here are the Israelites. It gets clear as you go on and on. Right? He also said, blessed be, matter of fact, let me finish reading. Because, I mean, this whole page, if you get this book and just read it, man, it's crazy how it just link up with the scriptures, man. Upon his return to Carthagena, the Judaizing Montezinos, right? Right? They're always trying to follow, try to be us. Montezinos had found himself accursed or accused by the Inquisition and put in prison. Praying for salvation in his cell one day. Yeah, right. He was reciting what was by then a standard formula among New World Moranos. Right? So they found black people here in the New World. Black people. What are you talking about? Red people. Black people.
Bring it up.
Right? And he recited what he heard them say. And what they said, blessed be the name of the Lord, like the brother was going into. Blessed be the name of the Most High, Yahweh. Right? Who has not made me an idolater, a barbarian, and we know the scriptures, it was that Colossians, talks about the barbarian, which is Israelites, right? And it says here, a Negro, right, and Indian. When suddenly he stopped, those Indians, he told themselves, they are Hebrews. Can you get that on film? They are Hebrews. Negroes out there. What the hell are you talking about? Right here. See? See, the Hebrew Israelites, right? We study to show ourselves approved. The Most High gave us all this knowledge, man. He said the earth shall help the woman in Revelation. Right? These books you Negroes would never read. Okay? If I could go in my bag and show you the books you read, your triple XL and all that, you would never read these books. All right? And the so-called white man would never put this in front of you, or he puts it in front of you, but then he put the white man on the front cover, and you don't want to read it. And he's got your history right there. This says, these Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews. How about that? Now I'm going to jump down. Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared. Hold on, let's get that canoe again. Let's get that canoe again. Yeah, here go the canoe right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Let's get that canoe. Here's the canoe. Right? That's the canoe they came to meet the guy with. Right there in that canoe. You see Sheila David? Sheila David on the canoe, right? Right? It says, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montezino were standing at the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing, hold on, we covered up the phone. We got everything going on. Hope y'all still there to hear. All right? What happened? Are y'all still there? Anybody on the phone? Anybody on the phone? Disconnect. Let me get rid of that right there. Oh, we met off. Oh well, Shannon. Well, I'll call back. Okay, what else is that right here? It says, she then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment, said, Shema Yasharallah. Allah Hayanawa right here. Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, Elohim, Adonai, Akkad. That's Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Akkad. And it has here English translation. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power, the Lord is one. What is that? Deuteronomy 6:4. They had recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism. For you Negroes that want to argue that the Native Americans are not Israelites. Right? It says a brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue. According to Montesinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as it that of his 3 mysterious new companions, they told him that they themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph, which is Ephraim and Manasseh, so-called Cubans and Puerto Ricans, live on an island nearby. Right? So now, where they was at, they was over there in Ecuador, down there. Right? So they over there already on the Caribbean coast over there. Right? So he said that the 3 tribes, Reuben, Ephraim, and Manasseh, lived on the island nearby. How about this one? Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about these people from his own traditions. His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on them and persecuted them. Deuteronomy 28. Right? Leviticus 26.
You know.
Only the sorcerers of his tribe had perceived that they were a special people. Deuteronomy 7:6 again, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people.
What?
To be a special people.
A special people? Right here in the Bible, in this book here. He said only the sorcerers of his tribe have perceived that they were a special people. Talk about like the priests. The priests, they call them sorcerers. Right? The priests. Right? And have given warning that they should be left alone. The power of these children of Israel is the true power. Right here in the book. Said the Hebrews, then they went straight to say Israel. Okay? The power of these children of Israel is the true power. They had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true. At the end of days, they will be lords of all the nations of the earth. One nation will come bringing many things to this land, and after we have all been provided for, these children of Israel will go forth from where they now are and reign over the whole earth as they once did.
Can't get around that.
And we can get all the scriptures, but wow, it's right here. I mean, they're telling you right here.
Right. We got next.
We got next. Right. Right. It's the Lord's tribe in promised lands. Right. It probably costs $1 million now. I don't know.
It's 900.
Right. How much it costs now?
$900.
900.
Right. You probably can't get the book now.
Right.
I got the book for like what, $70?
Right.
Okay. Maybe you might find it cheap. Okay. But see, now they know that we discovering this history.
You gotta get it on Nook or something.
Right. Okay. So they want to raise up the price because the little Negro going to spend them $900,000 on a book.
Right.
Okay. Right. Unless it's damn triple XL.
They spending it on Esau's college book or something.
Correct.
They use their financial aid on that.
Yeah, that was heavy right there. That was heavy right there. You can't get around that. Let me get a few more on this name. You got something else to bring up?
Yeah, it has something here. Let me see page 86. Check that. You go there.
All right, hold that. Go to Genesis 22 and 14, Razawan. Now let me read this again, this caption again in page 50 of History of the American Indians. I'm going to breeze through it. It says, that this seems to be the true Hebrew pronunciation of the divine essential name, Yahweh or Jehovah, will appear more obvious from the sound they seem to have given their characters, the Yod, He, Wah, or Yahweh or Jehovah. The Greeks, who chiefly copied their alphabet from the Hebrew, had not Jod but iota, very nearly resembling the sound of our Wah. The ancient Teutonic and Sclavonian dialects have Yah as an affirmative and use the consonant W instead of V. The high importance of the subject necessarily would lead these supposed red Hebrews, now, there they go with that line, the red Hebrews again, right? But we know, we're going to cut that later on with this black Indians, heritage. Because the so-called Native American Indians, the tribe of Gad and Reuben, were different shades of brown. They were dark-skinned people, different shades of brown. Right? I got the call open. Right? It says red Hebrews, when separated from other people in America, to continue to repeat the favorite name of God, the Most High, Yod-Heh-Wah, according to the ancient pronunciation. The ancient pronunciation would be Yahweh. Right? So now, go to Genesis 22:14.
Genesis chapter 22, verse 14. And Abraham called the name of that place.
Right, this is where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. So he gave a name to that sacred place. This is all these landmarks that we need to be visiting in Israel and different things like that. Because Esau still got a lot of these places marked. Right, so go ahead.
I'm going to read it as written, okay?
Where we at?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Read it as it's written. Genesis 22:14.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh.
Right, Jehovah Jireh, which means the Lord will see or the Lord will provide. Because remember, the Most High provided a ram instead of Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac. Right? The Lord provided a ram. He just wanted to test Abraham's faith. Right, go ahead.
As it is said to this day, in the mount of Yahweh it shall be seen.
So that sacred place where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac is known as Jehovah Jireh, or the Most High will provide. Right? But we know in the Hebrew, that's supposed to say Yahweh. But we know the scholars that translated the Bible know the name of the Most High. That's where they got it written, Jehovah. But if you read in the Hebrew, it's going to say Yahweh, just like you have in this book. That this seems to be the true Hebrew pronunciation of the divine essential name, Yahweh or Jehovah. Got it right here in this book. Now go to Psalms 83.
Bring it out.
Go to Psalms 83. And
Wake up, everybody.
83 and 18. Get right to the point. Psalms 83, 18.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 18. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh,
Come on.
art the most high over all the earth.
Read it as it is written.
That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah,
Come on.
art the most high over all the earth.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua. So the scholars Esau in this book letting you know that that name, Yohiwa, which is really supposed to be Yahweh or Jehovah, the so-called Native Americans knew that name. The red Hebrews, which we're not red. Esau is red. With different shades of brown. The Gad is different shades of brown.
Right.
Now, contrary to the uses of all ancient heathen world, the American Indians not only named the Most High by several strong compounded appellatives expressive of many of his divine attributes, meaning, in other words, the Most High got different titles. He was called the Great Spirit, right, and different things by the tribe of Gad.
Right.
But likewise say Yah at the beginning of their religious dances with the bowing posture of body. Right? Yah is short for the Most High. Then they sing yo-yo, he, and repeat those sacred notes on every religious occasion. The religious attendants calling to Yah to enable them to humbly to supplicate seems to point to the Hebrew custom of pronouncing Yah, which likewise signifies the divine essence or the Most High. It is well known that what sacred regard the Jews had to the four-letter divine name, so as scarcely ever to mention it but once a year when the high priest went into the holy sanctuary at the expiation of sins, meaning the Day of Atonement. Might not the Indians copy from them this sacred invocation, their method of invoking God in a solemn hymn with that reverential deportment and spending in full breath on each of the two first syllables of the awful divine name, have a surprisingly analogy to the Jewish custom, and such as no other nation or people, even with the advantage of written records, have retained.
Right.
So God was emulating that same Jewish festival or custom of uttering the name of the Most High, and also saying Yah. Go to Psalms 83 and 4 now.
Psalm chapter 83.
No, Psalm 68 and 4, Salakia. Psalm 68 and verse 4. So let you know, Gad had the name of the Most High.
Right.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua, can't get around it.
Psalm chapter 68, verse 4.
Come on.
Sing unto the Most High. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him.
See that by his name, Yah. We know it's written Jah, but there's no J in the Hebrew, so it's supposed to be Yah. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. So all that is in the scriptures. God knew the name. I just get to put the icing on the cake, Exodus 3 and 14. Right, so they...
This mountain. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The God of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you.